Before the video starts, I just wanted to thank you guys for all the support that you have shown me on the Gosha video. Now let's get back to the video. When we think of great rivalries, we usually think of, maybe someone like Goku and Vegeta, Real Madrid and Barcelona, my car and the oddly shaped human obstacles on the sidewalk after a beer. But rivalries usually come in pairs. But this rivalry comes in the form of three of the most dominant and the most successful horses of their era. All three of these horses have won a G1 race that will be qualified for a Triple Crown, and they will be called the shared Triple Crown of 1999. These three horses are Vega, T.M Opera O, and Narita Top Road. To really understand how these three rivalries are so important and so impressive, we need to first understand what is a Triple Crown. So the Triple Crown usually refers specifically to the Japanese classic Triple Crown, which consists of the Satsuki Show, the Tokyo Yunshin, and the Kika Show. And the most important thing is these races are only opened to 3-year-old horses. It's like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the horses to win these three prestigious races and to gain the Triple Crown. And in Japanese horse racing history, these three races are considered some of the most prestigious races in Japan. To understand how impressive having a Triple Crown is, there have only been 8 horses in the history of the Japanese horse racing history that has won a Triple Crown. And those horses are Saint Light, Shazan, Mr. CB, Simbali Rudolph, Narita Bryan, Deep Impact, Orfevi, and Contrail. And it's very tough for even G1 level horses to win one of these races. So in 163 years of the entire Japanese horse racing history, only 8 of the most incredible horses have ever had the title of winning a Triple Crown. But what makes this rivalry so special is that all 3 of them have won one of the race that will be qualified for a Triple Crown. So T.M Opera O won the Satsuki Show, Vega won the Tokyo Yunshin, and finally NTR Narita Top Road won the Kika Show. So let's start talking about these horses, So Vega was born on March 12th of 1996 in Northern Farm, Hokkaido. Her or his father is Sunday Silence and her mother is Vega. A little trivia here, but Sunday Silence is actually the father of many great Japanese horses, including Fuji Kisuke, Marvelous Sunday, Silent Suzuka, Stay Gold. We all know who Stay Gold is. Special Week, Vega, of course, Agnes Tachyon, Manhattan Cafe, and Deep Impact. So Vega, you could say, already comes from a very good pedigree. And just a little fun fact on Sunday Silence pedigree. His father Halo, he likes to drown birds in his drinking bucket. That was a fucking maniac like Stay Gold, bro. So Vega was actually a twin. So during pregnancy, Vega's mother Vega would conceive twins, and because twins were really not acceptable or not really favored in Japanese horse racing thoroughbreds, because when you have twins, the horse would sometimes have an imbalance of nutrition, causing both horses to not have enough nutrition. One of the twins had to be aborted. Of course, Vega lives and her twin got aborted. And in the anime, Vega was also a twin, and she was actually suffering from survivor's guilt, where she felt like she didn't deserve to be alive in expense of her sister's death. So at birth, Vega actually has physical features very similar to his mother Vega, such as inward bent front legs. So the expectations from Vega were not very high. For example, jockey Yutaka Take came to visit Northern Farm. He saw Vega and said, and I quote, Vega looked like a dog or a deer. And it was not until September of 1997 where the farm actually seen a lot of growth and a lot of potential in Vega, with an exercise jockey saying that, and I quote, his body was so flexible, no matter how much I ride him, I never get tired. That sentence could be interpreted in so many ways, but this is the one way that could lead to a good ending. So Vega would have competed in 8 total races in her career, and most of them would include graded races including 3 G1 races, 2 G2 races, and 1 G3 race. So Admire Vega's debut race would be held on November 7th of 1998 at Kyoto, and Admire Vega would have won that race by 2.5 lengths, but he got 4th place because after a deliberation from the track stewards, he'll be demoted to 4th place for obstruction. And this was actually a major setback for Admire Vega because this would have the possibility of losing Yutaka Take as Admire Vega's main jockeys for the classical races. But thankfully Vega would win her next 2 races, the Erica Show and the G3 race, the Radio Tampa High Sansai Stakes at Hanshin, and this will lead to his eventual encounter with one of his future rivals, Narita Top Road, in his next race, which is the Hochihai Yayoi Show, where Admire Vega was placed at the back, basically being a late surger, and he would place 2nd in that race, just barely losing to Narita Top Road by 1 length. Although he was defeated in that race, his 2nd place finish still guaranteed his entry for the first leg of the Japanese Triple Crown, which is the Satsuki Show. So the time for revenge for Vega was, and the date was April 18th of 1999 at Nakayama in the Satsuki Show, where all 3 of the top 3, Opera O, Narita Top Road, and Admire Vega was in the same race. And this is actually the first time that they all have been in the same race. And Admire Vega and Top Road were the crowd favorites. It was Admire Vega and Top Road who were vying to win the race. But unexpectedly, Opera O came in from behind like the goddamn boogeyman and stole the show, won the 1st place at the Satsuki Show, and thwarting the attempts of Admire Vega getting revenge on Narita Top Road, and most importantly, getting her first G1 win in her career. But thankfully, that chance will come immediately at the next race in June 6 of 1999 at the Tokyo Yunshin, where she finally claimed 1st place over Narita Top Road, and it was just by a hair that she won against Narita Top Road. This will be marking her first and only G1 win in her career. Admire Vega's last 2 races were also covered in the Road to the Top anime, with the Kyoto G2 race where she again won against Narita Top Road, and her last race at November 1999 at the Kika Show, where Narita Top Road finally won her first G1 race. After that, she never ran any other races because Admire Vega in real life got injured, and in the anime she also gets injured. After that, she retired and became a breeding stallion. Alright, let's talk about Narita Top Road. She probably has one of the worst and most unfortunate acronym in all of UmaMusume. So Narita Top Road was born on April 4th of 1996 in Sasaki Bokujo. Her father is Soccer Boy and her mother is Floral Magic. So Soccer Boy is actually Dicta Striker from UmaMusume Cinderella Grey. So in UmaMusume, Narita Top Road is the perfect honor student, and she is also the class president. And this is probably due to the fact that Top Road's jockey, Kunihiko Watanabe, was the head of the jockey dormitory in the Rito Training Center where Narita Top Road was trained. Also, the real-life Narita Top Road was described as a horse with very good looks, and he consistently placed in the top 5 of the popularity contest, so Matt got Riz. Narita Top Road actually has a very extensive racing career, a career spanning around 4 years, from December 5th of 1998 until his eventual retirement on December 22nd of 2002. That is a very impressive racing career because a lot of horses, like for example Admire Vega we just talked about, she only had 8 races and she basically retired within a year of her racing career. You have to respect Narita Top Road for hanging on for so long. So I'm gonna mainly focus on Narita Top Road's career in 1999, where she was the top 3, but she has a very extensive career. So let's talk about Top Road's 1999 career. So her 1999 started with, you know, pretty good actually, with a win in the G3 race at the Kitsuragi show, and then with a win against Vega at the G2 race. But then she just kept losing, not really by a huge margin, but she kept losing for the next 3 races just by a hair. And this was represented perfectly in the anime Road to the Top, where after losing to Vega at the Tokyo Yunshin, Top Road was very doubtful of herself to be able to even win a G1 race. But that all stopped when she finally won her first G1 race at November 7th of 1999 at the Kyoto Kika show, where she finally got her first G1 victory.
さあいよいよ第4コーナー直線に入ってまいりますが、林田もスタイクラッシャートップロード成田トップロード成田トップロード、さあアドマイヤベが外、アドマイヤベが外、成田トップロード先頭、トップロード先頭、成田トップロード先頭に立った。さあ成田トップロード先頭、そして赤い帽子ラスカル鈴鹿、 T.M オペラ王が外から来る。成田トップロードラスカル鈴鹿、トップロード、ついにやった。渡辺やった、ガッツポーズ、嬉しい。
Unfortunately, this G1 victory will be marking the only time that she got a G1 victory and the only time that she has beaten T.M Opera O at the rest of her career, because afterwards T.M Opera O had like a prime LeBron career at the 2000s. Like Opera O literally did not lost a single match, and even at the Kika show, Opera O was, you know, rode on by like a very inexperienced jockey, and a lot of people were saying that that's the only reason Top Road won. Like, come on guys, like let Top Road get something. Top Road also had an unfortunate nickname called the Bronze Collector, because in every single major graded race that she was participating in, she never got first place, but a lot of times she would get second and third place, just barely losing to her opponents. You know that when in UmaMusume, when you finish a race and you gotta like dance on the stage, do the concert thingy? Like, I feel like Top Road, the amount of time that she is up there and then we're just like dancing and singing, but like still being the second place and not winning, she must be feeling some type of fucking shit in herself, bro. Yo, she is on par with Nice Nature with that kind of violation that they're giving her. But thankfully, Top Road was always beloved, and he retired in early 2003 and died, unfortunately, on November 7th of 2005. You know, Top Road may not be number 1 in the racetrack, but he will always be number 1 in our hearts. But like that acronym, yeah. Oh god. Can't you tell I like this horse a lot? I don't think this horse needs any introduction at all. She would literally introduce herself, probably take my goddamn mic and introduce herself, because she is the overlord of the Century's End. Bro, I mean, if you talk about like my favorite UmaMusume, she is right now probably my favorite UmaMusume. Her racing career, or his racing career, is so fucking impressive. I mean, they named him the overlord of the Century's End for a fucking reason. She was the highest grossing horse of all time until Arrogate beat her record in 2017. So that is like a 17-year long streak that she is the highest grossing horse. Like, that is insane. And if you look at her 2000 season, she won every single race that she had in the 2000s. That is like an unbeatable fucking record that she has. I think motherfucker forgot the term losing, because He was fucking prime LeBron, just washing other fucking teams by himself. This horse is fucking insane. Well, I've been glazing her so much that I even forgot when she was born. So she was born on March 13th of 1996 at the Kinesu Bokujo. His father is opera house and his mother is once wed. You know, despite like her amazing career, she didn't really start her career very well. You would expect her to win her first like debut race, right? But she actually lost her first 2 races. So her debut race in Kyoto in August 15 of 1998, she got 2nd place, and in the January 16, 1999 race in Kyoto, she got 4th. So there was not really a very high expectations for her, but she just kept fucking winning afterwards. The most prominent victory that she had in 1999 was the Satsuki show, where she won against Narita Top Road and at Vega, getting 1st place and claiming one of the race that is required for the Triple Crown. Like, compared to her 2000 seasons, her 1999 season might as well be like a speck of fucking dust in her career, because she got 1 first place and then she didn't really won any other race at 1999. So just a little bit of trivia for her anime version, so her UmaMusume version. Apparently she has at least 120 gigabytes worth of photos of herself. Okay, well, that's a lot of self-love. Also, Opera O actually comes from just like a kind of a normal working family with a little sister and a working mother. And this is probably reflects that in real life, Opera O owner and Opera O's ranch was relatively small despite of Opera O's great success. Also, Opera O was also the first horse to use the Ogre Cap system. So back when Ogre Cap transferred from the regional race to the national race, she couldn't really register in the classical race because she was just recently transferred to the national race. If you want to register in the national races, you had to register a year before. So that made Ogre Cap unable to compete in the national race. And that really upset a lot of fans. So after Ogre Cap's retirement, they decided to make a rule just to have horses to be able to participate in national races even if they haven't registered in the previous year, albeit with a sum of like 20, I think it's 10 to 20 million yen. And Opera O was the first horse to be able to utilize this rule and was able to win a race because of that. That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT! This is also why in the Road to the Top anime, there was a showing where Opera O was thanking Ogre Cap, because the only reason that she was able to participate in the race that the anime depicted was because of the Ogre Cap rule. Oh yeah, she also appeared in UmaMusume Cinderella Grey when Rudolph was trying to implement the Ogre Cap rule. Opera O had an amazing career with a total of 7 G1 wins. He actually had a JRA commercial made for him, which is a 2013 Arma Kinen commercial stating, and I quote, "In 2000, Arma Kinen, winning continuously makes all other horses enemies. The horse was completely surrounded, the way was supposed to be closed. T.M Opera O, why could you run?" You know, his legacy is completely in stone as one of the most famous and one of the most successful horses in Japanese horse racing history. T.M Opera O, Narita Top Road, and Vega were definitely the top 3 horses of 1999, and they defined their generation of horses. I certainly think that without each other, those horses could not have reached the heights that they have reached. And the way how Cyan Games depicted that rivalry, that story, into the UmaMusume anime was very true to the source material, and you know, it was just a joy to watch. So I certainly hope that you enjoyed this video, and there will be more UmaMusume content to come, and I'll see you in the next UmaMusume video.